if you are a comic book fan, or at the very least a DC Comics fan, then you probably know about the recent news that broke on Twitter. Well, it's at least all over Twitter about the former Robin Tim Drake being bisexual. Now, once this news came out, Twitter erupted. This news broke in, it was the latest issue of some Batman comic. I think it's called Batman Urban Legends, which is an anthology series, if I remember correctly. Anyways, it was revealed that Tim Drake may be bisexual or is bisexual. I don't think he explicitly said it himself, but it's pretty clear. He asks a boy out on a date. This is a character previously just assumed to be straight, obviously, for obvious reasons. Now, like I said, Twitter has erupted over this, naturally, as social media often does when comic book creators or directors or writers of any sort start to tweak, alter, change, or expand in what may be considered shocking ways upon pre-existing characters that have a very large history and that people are familiar with for being a certain way. It's not the first time it's happened, and it won't be the last time that it's happened. Now, normally I don't talk about this kind of stuff on the channel, but I would like to. I'm a big comic book fan, and I would like to discuss more stuff like this, but this would not have been my first choice for my first video regarding superheroes and stuff. However, I feel like this needed to be said because I was just scrolling through comments on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that about this news that Tim Drake is bisexual or is coming out as bisexual. And the comments on both ends of the spectrum have just gotten so out of hand. And on both sides, there are people who fundamentally just don't understand the core of the issue, or don't understand comics, or don't understand that it's fiction. I mean, you got people who are coming out and are obviously very angry about it, and most of them are homophobes or closet homophobes or whatever. And obviously that it's fucked up, for people to be so outraged over a fictional character being bisexual. It makes it's a complicated situation, because while if you take yourself sort of out of the issue and you try to look at both sides, and you take the malice out of any of the hateful comments' voice on both sides, you can see where both sides come from. To an extent. Now, there are extremes on both ends that are just ridiculous. I understand people being upset that, this character that some of them may truly love. It's Tim Drake is a favorite Robin for a lot of people, even if he seems to often be the forgotten Robin. I can understand people being upset that they thought for a long time that Robin was a certain way, and he was a certain way for a long time, and now they're being told that that is no longer the case. They've conjured this image in their head, and it may have something to do with the fact that sometimes people like to try and see themselves in a character, in a comic book character, or an anime or a manga character, or whatever. They try to put themselves in their shoes and see themselves in that character, and allows them to relate to the character. And for someone who's not bisexual or gay, that may be a little bit more difficult now, if they can no longer see themselves in their favorite character. Now, before you jump on me and start calling me a homophobe or whatever, this is not necessarily the side that I take. I'm simply saying I understand it. I also understand the other side of the issue, that the LGBT community is getting representation that that many of them have sorely wanted in a character that they too may really, really like. And I see all the comments from people on the anti side of it who are saying they should just create new characters who are bisexual or gay or whatever, or trans or whatever. And it's like, you to an extent, you get where they're coming from, but at the same time, they've done that. They've made characters who are gay or bisexual or trans. And the simple fact of the matter is most of them, not all of them, most of those characters are not talked about, are not very well known. You have a couple of standouts like Batwoman who are very well known, but you have other characters in both Marvel and DC who are a part of that community that are very obscure characters and a lot of people don't know about. They're not very popular characters. Not a lot of people care about them. So to see this representation in a much more popular character, it's the same thing as when, they revealed that Loki was gender fluid and bisexual or pansexual or however you want to look at Loki, because he'll basically do anything. But it's sort of similar. Loki was a popular character, so now they're seeing representation on a larger scale because it's a popular character. It's a mainstay character that people do pay attention to, that has a rich history. And it's not the end of the world. I mean, I personally don't care. I don't care. Was it a good idea or a bad idea? I don't know. Time will tell whether or not this was a good move or a bad move to have Tim Drake be revealed as bisexual. And how that will be determined by a couple of factors. One, will Tim Drake make more money because of this? That's obviously, and yes, it is entirely possible that DC did this, to pander, to get money, to try and tap into another community. But you can't blame them for that. It's a company. God forbid a company want to make money, right? You can't blame them for thinking, okay, well, this is a way we can tap into another community. It's not necessarily out of malice or anything, but they see a way that they can appeal to another community, another demographic, and bring more of them into comics and have them relate to a larger character, to a more important character. Now, like I said, I don't care. You know why? Because it's fiction. It's fiction. It's not like they tore down everything you've ever known and the character is not the same person that he's literally always been. It is still Tim Drake. They didn't go out and take Batman, Superman, Nightwing, or any other. They didn't go out and take all the characters and say, oh, now they're all bisexual. They're not on this sort of agenda of turning every character they've ever made into, a gay person or a bisexual person or a trans person or a pansexual person or whatever on the spectrum you can come up with. They're not out there trying to ruin what you've always known. I mean, they're simply expanding the lore of this character. Now, I said that this would be, whether or not it was a good or bad idea, would be determined by a couple of factors. One, does it make money? Do people care more about Tim Drake after this? And two, does it further his narrative as a character? When writers and companies pull something like this for a fictional character and they pull it out and say, oh, they're gay or they're bisexual or whatever, you see the comments saying that, oh, it doesn't matter because it's not important to the character what sexuality, so I don't know why they're bothering telling everybody. And then you always see the other side who's saying, okay, well, Superman, why bother focusing on the fact that Superman's straight and he has a wife and everything? It doesn't matter to the character. That's what I'm talking about. Will it matter to the character? This is not the same as, oh, now his personality's got to be all gay or whatever, or bisexual. He doesn't have to make his personality centered around that. Simply the fact that, will this help him grow as a character? 5 years from now, will Tim Drake have evolved because of this revelation? Or will he just be the same as he's always been? If he has evolved, it was a smart decision. The character has been sort of he's sort of hit a plateau. He's sort of stagnated. He hasn't changed much. He hasn't evolved much. He's one of the, and that's why he often gets overlooked with the other Robins, is because he doesn't evolve as much as they do. And this is a chance for him to evolve. Simple as that. Now, and I've seen everything from people who are just mildly upset about it, to don't care, to love it, to outraged. I've seen some really nasty comments on the internet about it. You know, and I have a gay nephew, and I love that boy to death. So it hurts when I see the types of comments that I've seen about it. Was I shocked when I read it? Absolutely. I too have known this character to be a certain way. It's not like it was ever stated, oh, Tim Drake is straight. He's always going to be straight. You know, but evidence always suggested he was straight. And of course, that's just how I understood it. So yeah, it was shocking to see, oh, he's bisexual. Huh, okay. All right, cool. Then I moved on with my life. It's that simple. People getting worked up over a fictional character's sexuality is sad and pathetic. It doesn't matter. Your life has not changed. Your life is no different now than it was before you had that information. The same goes for the people who are praising it. I've seen people saying, oh, good for Tim Drake, or I'm proud of Tim Drake. He's a fictional character. He doesn't care if you're proud of him. What you're proud of is the fact that DC Comics is going the extra mile for inclusion with a mainline character, with a major character from their history, not some character that everybody forgets about or possibly doesn't even know exists, but from a freaking Robin, a very popular Robin, or formerly popular Robin, Tim Drake. I say formerly because he was more popular when he was Batman's main Robin than he is now. He's sort of fallen off years after he quit being with Batman. But at the end of the day, no one's life is different because of this. Especially the people who are against it. Especially them. They're going to wake up the next day, go about their life as they always have. However, people in that community may wake up feeling just a fraction of a percent better, feeling just that much more represented. Just a little bit more. But the people who are against it, your life doesn't change. The character has not changed. It's still Tim Drake. All of his history is still there. It fundamentally just does not fucking matter. His sexuality does not matter. Back to my point when I said, does this pay off for the character? You know, I've seen comments saying, talking about how, how is it any different than Superman or Batman being straight? And they're right. Frankly, I don't like it when superheroes have even straight romances if they feel out of place. There are times, and this is really bad with movies, where they will force a superhero romance and it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't move the character forward. I don't care about those. Regardless if it's a straight romance, a gay romance, whatever. I don't care. If it doesn't move the character forward, then I don't care. It's about the stories. It's about the character themselves, not their sexuality. It's about these stories being for everyone. Everyone to enjoy. Not just you who wants it to be a certain way, who wants that character to be a specific way. It's not about you. If you're no longer going to buy comics that have Tim Drake in them simply because he's bisexual, you're an extremely sad and pathetic person. It's that simple. If you're against this, I want you to sit there just for a few moments and ask yourself, has my life changed because of this news? I think you'll find the answer is no.